Hey you guys, it's Molly here with Designless Detail. Let's take a look at how our primary bedroom was changed as a workout. Here in this room, if you guys remember, we had all kinds of crazy stuff. There was a wallpaper border that was all floral. We had mauve fabric on the doors, all kinds of just really dated details that needed to be replaced, and now we've done it. So the wall color here is what I use throughout the home, Benjamin Moore China White, and it's kind of just like the color of dishes, the china, because it is not a bright white, but it has that rich undertone, which is actually not creamy, and that's why I love it. It's more of a grayish color overall, kind of the undertone, instead of that yellow cream, which can be, I don't know, sometimes it looks dingy. So this is that fresh feeling, but it goes well with both warm neutrals and cool neutrals because it has just that slight hint of gray in it too. So that's the background. That's kind of what changed the overall feel of the space and allowed us to create a fresh look for the whole space. The border, of course, just got taken down, and we pulled the fabric from the doors and added new hardware, so those look way better. And then over here on the bed, I wanted to bring in a gorgeous upholstered bed with a little bit of detail with this pattern. This has been one of my favorite beds for a while, and so being able to use it in the space was like meant to be. This is from Wayfair, and it's a super good deal. It has the whole bed frame, you get the headboard. It has a very polished look, and yet it's still kind of earthy and feels approachable. It's not too like, I don't know, I feel like I still want to dive into this bed. It's not one of those that feels like really formal, but then it has still a tailored look. So it's a perfect balance, I think, in keeping those neutral tones and giving us still an inviting space. The sheets, I did a linen so that they have that kind of natural little crinkle to them, which I love linen for that reason. It's kind of unique in that it's got that look to it. It's just livable and relaxed feeling. And I actually grabbed this comforter just today. It was a last minute buy at Target, and it has some nice texture with the stitching, and it's also reversible. So if you want a little more of like a tweed pattern, you can do that side, or I just did the more neutral, lighter tone solid for this space. And then I brought in the texture, as I love to, at the bottom with this gorgeous piece from Target. This is that Casa Luna line that has some really great bedding pieces, good prices, and they come in the blankets. You can get them in the king or queen, full, whatever, so that they perfectly fit your bed. You know how sometimes when you get a throw blanket, it's just not long enough to go at the end. So these ones are made for that, and they're perfect. When it came for nightstands for this space, when Target came out with this, just literally, I think it was a week or two ago, I knew it was the perfect one for the space. This is from the newest Joanna Gaines collection for Hearth and Hand at Target. This drawer with the woven inlay just in that top one, and then just the simplicity. There's no hardware, just that really minimal drawer detail, and the whole shape of it being a little bit oversized was perfect. I ordered those right away. They might be in stock, I'll link them, but hopefully they will come back because Target is actually good at restocking stuff. It just sometimes takes a minute. So I love this again for being really good storage space, and then it just filled this larger area perfectly because this room is actually really big. It felt smaller before. They only had a queen size bed in here previously, and so I was just kind of like, I don't know if that room's that big, but then once we got all the furniture, and I'm like, no, it's a great size. Like, this is a really big asset to this home. So using these larger nightstands to fill this space and kind of keep them centered on the window was a great design move, if I do say so myself. And the lamps, again, keeping with the larger scale nightstand, bringing this kind of substantial lamp that feels like found pottery again. You know, I love a good pottery look lamp. They are just, I think, meant to be together. And this one too, it looks more like it's a black online, but it's actually like a charcoal brownish tone, which worked even better for this really earthy space. So I highly recommend these, and I'm hoping that they are in stock now. We'll link them, and you can do notifications if not, because it's one that's worth the wait for sure. And I love the tapered shade. This is, again, really natural feeling, which plays together with the whole scheme. These are such pretty candle holders from Bloomist. You guys know I love Bloomist. They have some of the most beautiful, more artisan crafted decor, really original pieces that give that high-end look to a space because they are more small batch created, and so you get that custom handmade feel. So those were such a pretty accent. I just grabbed a couple books for this side to give us a little height with our faux plant here. Of course, always a little bit of faux greenery mixed in. I did a large one on the other side of the room that we'll look at too, but that kind of ties in the greenery from over there. And the same curtains here as I've done in the other places that we have toured so far. That linen, just really natural look. But I did on this one, something that was a little bit unique is I did the curtain rings. So they have kind of, I feel like that kind of gives a higher end look. I wasn't able to do that in the other rooms because of the height, but because this ceiling goes so far in this room, I could add in that little bit of extra detail and height with the curtain rings. So a really fun little way to give a custom curtain look that's really affordable. Over on this side, you can see that I did keep that symmetry. This is kind of a typical thing I like to do where we have the same nightstands and the same lamps just so that there's some balance and cohesion between the sides, but then I like to do different styling in the accessories. So you can see these really fun clay beads. These are from Blue Mist again. Really that awesome handmade earthy detail with that subtle variation in color just makes them the perfect fit for this really neutral space. And then we have these darling little vases that are such a cute little pair, and they are available a couple different places, so I will link those for you. And while we're over here too, these pillows are some of my favorite. This really pretty textured olive green, it's just the perfect tone. I'll include these for you, and I love the size. It's kind of a unique size, and I kept that simplicity so that we have the airy feel, really subtle, earthy, organic look that, of course, I'm trying to carry throughout this house so that people can't resist it. This front one is really unique. It looks like a vintage rug. It's not actually a vintage rug, but it has that look. And I love just that little bit of color. It's almost got just a tiny bit of a blush pink. So that ties in with our rug. This rug really set the scene for the room. It's got all those awesome earthy tones with the olive greens, the browns, a little bit of that charcoal gray tone too around the border. This is another one of those Loloi rugs I'm always telling you guys about because that printed style is just makes it look like it's a high-end vintage antique rug, but it's really affordable for pretty much any budget. They have a bunch of different sizes and just that price point is hard to beat, especially the durability is a major asset as well. So stepping over here, we have the cutest little plant. It's actually pretty good size. I put it in this beautiful vase that is another TJ Maxx find. I think Marshall's had it too. So really, really good one. I love the shape of it. I'll link it for you because it comes with a lid. So you can either use it as kind of like a woven ginger jar or as a planter in this case, or sometimes I've used it as a floor vase with just like large stems in it. So this plant is just pretty darn good. I love when it's a little bit different than your typical olive trees are really cute, and the fiddly figs, those are great too, but just having a little bit different look is really nice because there's a lot more plant options out there in the world, and so we should try to show those too. And I like that this is almost feels like kind of a mix between a tree or a more of like a shrub, you know, because it's not like all the volumes at the top, it's kind of evenly spread out. Looks really good that way, and it has a realistic trunk on it too, so that you get, I think, a pretty realistic look. And this is one that you can pick up at Walmart, so check that link below for that. Really, really awesome find, I think, there. These floors we should talk about too. These are throughout the home, and I have forgotten to mention them. They are by Abode Flooring, and the color is tan leather. This one is, I think it's a maple with kind of a gray wash, and so it's a more medium tone, not that like really light pale washed out wood that, you know, I have done in the past. I get kind of bored of the same thing, so I do like to mix it up, and this is like a really pretty floor that still has some dimension and depth and color to it, more in the medium tones I would say, but it still has an airy feel. It's not too dark, and it's really good actually for dirt, because the closer your floor color is to the actual color of dirt, the better it is for you in terms of it showing up. I mean, it's like we can only clean our floors so much, so sometimes you do want it to blend. I will say that. That's from my own experience. So that this kind of does do that for you. Major win. And I like that they are a really matte, organic looking wood for a natural feel. Definitely, I think, an upside for going with my overall style, and especially for this home, I think they were the perfect fit. It looks really good with the wall color as well. In this little space, I did a desk area because we had this nice bump out with the bay window, so there's plenty of space for it. And I think since this home doesn't have a dedicated office, this was a really good way to be able to have a space that feels like a good work area that doesn't intrude into the primary bedroom. So it's really kind of its own space with how it bumps out. And you could use this area as a seating area too, if that was more you know, desirable for somebody, but I think it's really nice to have a desk right here. Really pretty chair. This is one of my favorites, you guys know, because I've used it in a lot of different spaces. Again, with that natural raw look wood, and then really artisan detail with the woven seat and the leather. And this one is such a great quality. It's a little bit spendy, but I feel like it's just completely worth how customized and handmade it looks. Even like the carved detail of the arms feels really original and genuine, authentic type feel. So these vases that I added here, just a little accent, these are from the recent Studio McGee collection as well. So really affordable, and they have that matte finish, which is one of my favorites, with this little sculptural piece as well, being from Target too. And this desk is super affordable. I'll be sure to link that. This is just, I think, a nice little setup that's really pretty reasonably priced, and hopefully will be seen as an asset to the buyer. A couple more details over here. We're going to check out the light fixture. Love this one. It is really great scale. It's huge because we have really tall ceilings actually in this space. They're quite high. So this does a great job of bringing your eye up, and then it's minimal, but then it still has some interesting detail and a lot of different light bulbs to bring in plenty of light, because that is our only light source for this space. Down here we have these cute ottomans, another favorite of mine, really affordable. These are so neutral, they really go just about anywhere. I love them here at the end of a bed. You can tuck these under a console table, extra seating in a living room. Really versatile, and they do a great job kind of just adding some extra seating, a place to sit down and put your shoes on at the end of the bed, that sort of thing. A really good accent for this neutral space. I do have one thing I'm waiting on for this space. As you can see above the bed, it is empty right now. I have some gorgeous artwork that I'll have to put up the design board for you guys to check out, because I think it's gonna really complete the space, but everything again is like back ordered, so I'm still waiting on those. Hopefully they'll be here soon, but I'll put a picture at least so you guys can visualize what those are gonna look like. I think it's gonna be the final touch. Oh, and the dresser, actually. I'm waiting on the dresser too. That'll go over on this blank wall over here. So we do have all this space right here that we can kind of do a dresser to give some extra storage here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the tour, and I will be sharing what is coming up next. I can't even remember. Something real exciting from the Flip House next time. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when future videos are live. We'd love to have you comment and like as well. And follow me over on Instagram at Design Loves Detail, or at our blog website, designlovesdetail.com. See you there.